Okay, what's going on, everybody? We are here. We're live. I want to thank you all for joining me today. If you can see and hear me clearly, please drop a one in the live chat, and then we can get today's stream started. As I'm waiting for the ones to come through, if you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button because that's the most important thing you can do for me on this channel. What it does is that it helps to make sure that those who are subscribed to the channel will indeed get their notifications, and it also helps to push this video through the YouTube algorithm as well. Secondly, if you're new to the channel, or maybe you've been ghost watching this channel for quite some time now, please do me a favor and yourself a favor and hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. And lastly, please make sure to share this video out on your social media platforms as well to your family and friends to inform them on this news and information. And that does also help to give me a slight boost in the YouTube algorithm also. Yes, I know it sounds a little selfish, but help me out with that. And with the introduction out of the way, let's now get into the stream. Let's get the show started because I wanted to take a moment to address Donald Trump's black jobs remark. This isn't something that I originally wanted to talk about. I didn't care to talk about it because as it pertains to illegal immigration and its negative impacts on the black community, this is something that I've spoken about numerous times over and over and over again. So I didn't originally want to speak on this, but I was actually inspired by a good friend of mine. He's here right now in the building, Rob. Right? Rob did a stream on this. I believe it was 2 nights ago. And once he did a stream on it, I said to myself, well, I guess I'll do a stream on it too. It's worth discussing a little bit more since people are still pretending to be fake outraged by Donald Trump's black jobs remark. Yes, the fake outrage is completely ridiculous and out of control. And the reality is that Donald Trump actually told the truth, and I have all type of data to back that up. To the contrary, everyone running around saying that what he said was racist and that this is crazy. Oh my God, how can he say that? And I'm so offended. There's no data that backs up that what he said was racist. To the contrary, what he's saying is true, and there is a multitude of data and information that proves that what he's saying is true as it pertains to the negative impact that illegal immigration has on the black community. So I want to start there. I want to start with the initial quote, you can say, the initial remark that came from Donald Trump. So let me play that first. Let me pull this up on the screen and let's get into it.
And we're going to do a whole lot more for black families.
Thank you, President Trump.
And he caused the inflation. He's blaming inflation, and he's right, it's been very bad. He caused the inflation, and it's killing black families and Hispanic families and just about everybody. It's killing people. They can't buy groceries anymore. They can't. You look at the cost of food where it's doubled and tripled and quadrupled. They can't live. They're not living anymore. He caused this inflation. I gave him a country with essentially no inflation. It was perfect. It was so good. All he had to do is leave it alone. He destroyed it with his Green New scam and all this money that's being thrown out the window. He caused inflation. As sure as you're sitting there, the fact is that his big kill on the black people is the millions of people that he's allowed to come in through the border. They're taking black jobs now, and it could be 18, it could be 19, and even 20 million people. They're taking black jobs, and they're taking Hispanic jobs, and you haven't seen it yet, but you're going to see something that's going to be the worst in our history.
Thank you. President Biden.
So he said they're taking black jobs. Illegal immigrants are taking black jobs and they're taking Hispanic jobs, a point that everyone seems to be skipping over just to pretend to be fake outrage over the black jobs comment, right? So now here goes some of the fake outrage outside of people like, online on Twitter and, other YouTube channels and whatnot. Here's Simone Sanders. Right. And we all know who she is. She's no introduction. Let's hear a little bit of what she had to say concerning Donald Trump's black jobs remark. Let's get into what Simone Sanders had to say.
They're taking black jobs now.
I'm going to rewind it back just a little bit. And shout out to Jay Bird for 27 months of service. I appreciate you, bro. 27 months of service as a channel member. Thank you, bro.
What are the black jobs?
They're taking black jobs now.
What are the black jobs? that he thinks immigrants who have come into this country who are undocumented are taking.
She wanted to say immigrants who came to the country illegally. She had to catch herself. You see how she's a good DNC puppet. Oh, Simone Sanders is a good DNC puppet. You're going to say it right the first time, Simone. Who came into the country illegally. You're going to say it right. You were getting ready to say it right the first time, and you stopped yourself. Look at this.
Have come into this country who are undocumented are taking.
Who have come into this country who are illegal, undocumented.
Immigrants who have come into this country who are undocumented are taking. What are the black jobs? He used his answer on the debate stage to try to pit black people against Hispanic people in this country because he thinks it will benefit him at the ballot box in November.
He literally wasn't putting black people against Hispanic people because he said black jobs and Hispanic jobs, a point that everyone steps over to be fake outraged about black jobs. Here's my question to everybody. How come Hispanics aren't outraged over the Hispanic jobs comment? How come they're not outraged about that? How come all of these left-leaning DNC channels, CNN, MSNBC, and the likes, how come they're only harping on the black jobs, but they're pretending like he didn't say Hispanic jobs? And why aren't Hispanic people pretending to be fake outraged about Donald Trump saying Hispanic jobs? That's my question to you all.
How little does Donald Trump think of black people and black voters and Hispanic people and the Hispanic voters in this country? How little does he think of us? Did Donald Trump think we are stupid?
What you'll notice too, because I'm going to play Al Sharpton next, they can't even explain why it's racist. They can't even explain why it's racist. She's just talking and blabbering and blabbering. Look at her face. She's just talking and going on and on and on and on and on. And is saying a whole lot of nothing. She's saying a whole lot of nothing because she knows, like Al Sharpton knows, like every black politician knows, and every black political pundit on CNN, MSNBC, and all these other shows know, they all know that the data says that Trump is correct on this, but they can't admit that. They can't admit the fact that it's correct, not just simply because it's coming from Donald Trump, but how do you admit the fact that illegal immigration has a negative impact on the black community while at the same time being pro-illegal immigration, pro-open borders? That means that by default, you're anti-black, according to the data. That's not what I say. That's what data and statistics say.
Many questions, very few answers. But I can tell you this. What Donald Trump has been doing to speak to black, Latino, and Hispanic voters in this country, that is not outrage. It's just more insults.
She literally didn't say anything. Now let's get into Al Sharpton. I want to get into what Al Sharpton had to say. He spoke for like almost 3 minutes on MSNBC about this, and he flat out lied. Concerning the connection in the relationship between illegal immigration and the black community as it pertains to job loss. And I want to get into that and break down his lies. So let's get into what Al Sharpton had to say right now.
Joining me now, our good friend, president of the National Action Network and host of Politics Nation, Reverend Al Sharpton. As usual, my friend, in your car, getting ready to come to work. But we're glad to see you, Rev. Look, that comment about black jobs from Trump, it's got a lot of people talking. Then, by the way, the guy goes and doubles down at his rally on Friday in Virginia. I mean, take a listen to this. Again, here it is.
They're taking the black jobs, people that have had their jobs for a long time are losing their jobs.
That's a fact.
And Hispanic jobs, people that have had them for a long time, they're losing their jobs. And you know who else is the biggest loser? Is going to be the unions.
What is Trump inferring there?
It is the most racist statement that he's made in the last 3 days, because he's made them a long time before that. You've got to remember, Donald Trump said black jobs, and he talks about how blacks relate to him because of his mugshot. So he has criminalized blacks, saying that we relate to mugshots because we are innately criminal, even though, yes, we have fought criminal justice system unfairly. He's always been on the other side, like what he did with the Central Park case. But what
How do you bring up what he? How do you say something as ridiculous as he's always been on the other side of criminal justice as it pertains to the Central Park case? And then at the same time, you literally ignore the fact that you cannot discuss mass incarceration without mentioning Joe Biden's name. This man literally, Joe Biden, has a 40-year history of legislative racism as it pertains to perfectly writing out multiple crime bills, not just one, multiple crime bills, and writing them in a fashion that directly negatively impacts the Black community because they targeted you. They targeted you. What is it again? You needed a 100, crack cocaine will get you whatever amount of money, amount of years in prison. It'll get you 50 years in prison. And you need 100 times the amount of that concerning coke, right? If you had coke, you need a 100 times the amount of that to get the same prison sentence. The laws that he wrote up were literally designed specifically and strategically to target you, literally. But he looks over that as if that didn't happen when it did. And it's well documented. It is very well documented. But he's talking about the Central Park Five. He's talking about Donald Trump taking out an ad in the newspaper versus 40 years of legislative racism versus 40 years of working with segregationists and Klans members and eulogizing Klans members while writing these bills. Go figure.
What he won't discuss here is the people prosecuting him in New York and Georgia are Black prosecutors that we voted to get in office. So that's not the system. It's those of us that rebelled against the system and got Black prosecutors in. Now,
how is that rebelling against the system? He's talking about the Black prosecutors that are going after Trump. He's talking about Alvin Bragg's, what's the other woman? Letitia James and Fannie Willis. Was that a rebellion? I didn't know that them getting voted into office as prosecutors was a Black rebellion. I didn't know that. It sounds kind of silly to me, though.
Now he tries to say Black jobs.
Let me rewind it back just a little bit.
System and got Black prosecutors in. Now he tries to say Black jobs. What jobs are Black? What are the kind of jobs that migrants, illegal migrants, are getting here? Mostly jobs that most American citizens, including Blacks, were not trying to do.
That is a lie. That is 100% a lie. I'm going to rewind that back because we're going to unpack that in just a moment. What he just said is 100% lie.
Prosecutors in. Now he tries to say Black jobs. What jobs are Black? What are the kind of jobs that migrants, illegal migrants, are getting here? Mostly jobs that most American citizens, including Blacks, were not trying to do.
Liar.
And maybe somebody ought to tell Mr. Trump that this is the 21st century. We have Blacks now that are CEOs in major corporations. We have Black billionaires all the way down to people that work every day in labor jobs that are everyday jobs. But a Black job has never been monolithic since slavery.
Slavery. The last Black job was slavery. According to Al Sharpton, according to this guy here with his mouth wide open, the last Black job was slavery. After slavery, there were no more Black jobs. The last Black job in America was slavery, according to Al Sharpton. Let's hear that again.
Jobs that are everyday jobs. But a Black job has never been monolithic since slavery. or at least since Jim Crow.
I'm gonna need anyone who was offended by black jobs and pretending like you didn't understand what Trump was saying. I'm going to need you to shut up forever talking about black businesses. I'm going to need you to shut up forever talking about black families. I'm going to need you to shut up forever talking about banking black. I don't know what black means. If you put black in front of a word, I'm going to act just as dumb as you all act when Donald Trump said black jobs. I need you all to be quiet forever. I don't ever want to hear that stuff again.
It's never been monolithic since slavery, or at least since Jim Crow. So it shows you the mentality of Donald Trump when it comes to blacks. We're either not legal because we're criminals. We like mugs.
You see what he did there? I'm going to play that one more time. Did you hear what he did there? Oh, he has such a serpent's tongue. Listen to what he just said.
At least since Jim Crow. So it shows you the mentality of Donald Trump when it comes to blacks. We're either not legal because we're criminals.
So we're either not legal. He just tied you in with illegal immigrants. We're either not legal. That's a very interesting choice of words to put on black folks. We're either not legal because we're criminals. Okay, so I guess, we're all, illegal immigrants now.
So it shows you the mentality of Donald Trump when it comes to blacks. We're either not legal because we're criminals. We like mugshots, or we do labor that migrants can come in and take over right away.
We do. That last part is true.
Criminals, we like mugshots, or we do labor that migrants can come in and take over right away.
That's literally a fact that we're getting ready to unpack after this video.
Both of them are absolutely offended racially, which is why, as much as I was concerned about Joe Biden's performance the other night, I was very upset when one or two questions he seemed to not be able to get to his answer. I'm more concerned about all the things Donald Trump did answer.
This man is a liar, and I can't wait to get to it. I want to highlight something before we unpack his lies with actual facts, right? With actual facts. How is it possible that in the face of facts and data, which we're going to go through here in this article right here, supporting illegal immigrants means opposing black workers, right? How is it that in the face of so much information that proves that what Donald Trump said was true, that these folks like Simone Sanders, Al Sharpton, who's another one? Jim Clyburn, who I've seen. I can't play all these people's videos because we'll be here forever. Jim Clyburn. What's the other guy's name who got fired from? He got fired from CNN because he went over to the Middle East and sided with the wrong people. Oh my God. I can't think of his name right now, but he got fired from CNN because he made the nano hats upset. Mark Lamont Hill. From Mark Lamont Hill to Jim Clyburn, Simone Sanders to Al Sharpton, I'm sure Roland Martin as well. You take all these people, and once again, like I said, in the face of the information that I'm getting ready to present to you right now in this article, how is it possible that they can pretend like what Trump said was a lie and was racist when it clearly wasn't, when it's the truth? Well, that's because they are all party loyalists. They are DNC first. They pretend to be about black people. They pretend to care about black people. They pretend as if the things they do are for and are about improving the lives of black Americans. But that simply isn't true. Everything they do is to advance the party. And that point isn't proven, or that point is proven the best by a video that I'm going to play for you right now. It was, I believe, Donald Trump's, I think this might have been his last State of the Union, possibly, either his third or fourth State of the Union. And he discussed how under his administration, black poverty and black unemployment, it was a record low, which it was. That was factually correct at the time. And I want you to look at the response from Democrats, particularly the black Democrats, black congressmen, the people from the Congressional Black Caucus. Let's see how they react when he brings up such good news, right? Because that's what that is. It's good news. Let's see how they react. Well, you know what? Before I do that, I want to make sure, because I don't want to fall too behind. Let me make sure to give my thank yous real quick, because you guys are showing love, and I appreciate the love you guys showing me on this channel. Thank you very much, Ashley J. Ashley J said, that same debate night, Biden said black students are just as smart as white students, as if our smartness needs to be validated by him. No outrage. Exactly. Just like when Biden told you, if you don't vote for him, you're not black. No outrage, right? Just like how he eulogized the Klansmen. No outrage. But let Trump had eulogized the Klansmen. I mean, you don't even have to say that. The man just literally just said black jobs, and everybody's being fake about it. But you're absolutely right, Ashley J. Shout out to my man, Untried Genius. He said, saying citizens don't want to do the jobs that illegals do is belittling to illegals and people who work those jobs every day. Disgraceful. You're 100% right. They're literally insulting everybody when they say that. And shout out to my man Untried Genius for running it back. Came through with the super chat and said, Simone, the linebacker Sanders. Simone got them big shoulders, big, broad shoulders. Let's pull her up one more time on his
Black jobs.
Big linebacker Sanders. But now I want to get into the clip that I was going to get into right now, right? Because I don't want to lose that point. How was it possible? And that was the question that I raised earlier. How is it possible that so many black politicians, black political pundits, those who are influencers on the internet can pretend to be fake outraged about Donald Trump's black jobs remark in the face of actual data that I'm getting ready to present to you here right now? It's because they are party loyalists. They are DNC first, and they pretend to be about black people to get votes so that the DNC agenda can get pushed forward, while nothing changes for you on any real fundamental levels. There have been a lot of cosmetic changes in the black community as it pertains to just how things look, right? You know, you can use the restroom next to a white man if that makes you happy. You know what I mean? Like you can do that, and you can drink from water fountains, you can marry who you want to marry, and all that stuff is great, you know, but fundamentally where it counts concerning every disparity out there, whether it's wealth and income disparities, job disparities, sickness, health and disease disparities, black folks are literally on the bottom, way on the bottom of every list every single time. So you can't say that there has been any real change. You can't say that. There has been cosmetic change, but change where it counts has not happened. It has not happened. Now, let's look at the Congressional Black Caucus's response. Let's look at the CBC's response when Donald Trump literally gave a bunch of good news about black people.
We hadn't reversed the failed economic policies of the previous administration, the world would not now be witnessing this great economic success.
Notice people are standing up and clapping based on what he's saying, right?
The unemployment rate for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, and Asian Americans has reached the lowest levels in history.
Everybody on, I believe, your right, everybody on your right, as we're looking at the screen, those are all Democrats. And those people in the front, you can't see it because the video is slightly zoomed down and I have my little logo in the way. I know. But Jim Clyburn is sitting in the front. Maxine Waters is there. All of the CBC is there. He's telling you right now that under his administration, black unemployment is the lowest that it's ever been. If these people were about black people the way that they say they are, why wouldn't you stand up and be happy about that? Why are you mad? Why are you mad sitting there with your arms folded? He's going to say a lot of other good things too, as it pertains to, at least statistically speaking, how well Black Americans are supposedly faring under his administration. He's going to say a couple of more things, and you're going to see them never get up. If they cared about you the way that they pretend to, then they would have stood up and clapped along with the Republicans. But because they're party first, even when something is benefiting you, they will not support it if it's not coming from their party. And we all know that whatever is coming from their party has never supported you. That's why after 60 years of voting blue, no matter who, by 2053, the median wealth of Black families is going to be 0. And on top of that, you will have moved down to number being 4th on the population list by 1964, right?
African American youth unemployment has reached an all-time low. African American poverty has declined to the lowest rate ever recorded.
Isn't that good news? How come no one's standing up on the DNC side? How come the CBC, the Congressional Black Caucus, and all these Black politicians, how come no one's standing up to clap? That's good news, isn't it? They should be happy, right? But they're not.
If we hadn't reversed the failed economic...
Now, let's get into this article here. I want to get into this right now. Let's get into the actual facts. Because like I said, I wanted to unpack what Al Sharpton stated as it pertains to illegal immigration not having a negative effect on the Black community. That's 100% a lie. Al Sharpton is lying. Donald Trump told you the truth. You might not like the way he worded it, but the truth is the truth, regardless of who speaks it or how they say it. So let's get into the truth right now. Supporting illegal immigration means opposing Black workers. Let's jump into this. Let's get into this. And please hit the like button if you haven't already. That's extremely important to the growth of this channel. I want to scroll down and let's just get to the meat of it. Back in 2008, the United States Commission on Civil Rights, I'm going to say it again. Back in 2008, the United States Commission on Civil Rights. This came from the U.S. government. What we're going to go through right now came from the United States Commission on Civil Rights. It didn't come from Infowars.com. It didn't come from the Heritage Foundation. It didn't come from any right-wing, anything. This is the United States Commission on Civil Rights. The government literally knows that illegal immigration has a negative impact on the Black community, because this is where this information that I'm getting ready to read comes from. So I repeat, back in 2008, the United States Commission on Civil Rights assembled a panel of experts whose findings were released in a report called The Impact of Illegal Immigration on the Wages and Employment Opportunities of Black Workers. They should probably, redo that title now, because saying Black workers is racist. The commission found that illegal workers comprise as much as 1/3 of immigrants, and that illegal immigration creates a surplus of low-skilled, low-wage labor in the U.S. labor market. Experts on the panel testified that while illegal immigration to the U.S. depresses employment and wages for low-skilled American citizens, Black men are disproportionately affected. Once again, this information is coming from the United States Commission on Civil Rights, not Alex Jones. About 6 in 10 adult Black males have a high school diploma or less, and Black men are disproportionately employed in the low-skilled labor market, where they are more likely to be in labor competition with immigrants, the commission noted in its findings. Remember, Al Sharpton said, we're not even working in those jobs, right? He said black folks don't even work those jobs. You don't even want those jobs. But this report is actually proving the opposite. It proves that you're actually getting pushed out of those jobs, right? Dr. Vernon Briggs, Emeritus Professor of Labor Economics at the New York State School of Labor and Industrial Relations at Cornell West University, told the commission that Black Americans and illegal aliens are disproportionately concentrated in large metropolitan areas where competition between the two groups over jobs is likely to be extensive. To illegal immigrant workers, even low wages offered in the US are higher than their home country. So, what does that mean for you, right? If you're the one who are working these kind of jobs, it means this. And employers take advantage of this through preferential hiring of illegal workers. I repeat, and employers take advantage of this through preferential hiring of illegal workers, more out of pragmatism than bad intent, Briggs noted. Now, whether it's out of pragmatism or bad intent, that's all irrelevant, because the facts show that they show preferential hiring treatment for illegal immigrants over you, Black Americans, because they can afford to pay them cheaper and get away with it, as opposed to giving you an honest wage for an honest day's work. Once again, this came from the United States Commission on Civil Rights. It didn't come from Tucker Carlson. It didn't come from Fox News. This isn't a New York Post report. This is the United States Commission on Civil Rights. Let's carry on. The competition between illegal immigrants and Black men keep wages down. It keeps them down. Entry-level jobs, give me just a second. Entry-level jobs are typically filled by low-skilled workers. Excuse me, let's start over. Entry-level jobs that are typically filled by low-skilled workers are supposed to be stepping stones that allow those workers to gain experience, develop their abilities, and a solid work ethic, and prepare them for their next job, often one that comes with higher compensation and benefits. And systematically reducing the number of Black males in those entry-level jobs by artificially increasing competition is counterproductive to income and wealth creation for Black Americans. These are all facts. These are all facts. And what I want you to pay attention to is that the degree to which anyone will want to continue to pretend to be fake outrage and want to disagree with me on something, they will never present to you facts and data that proves me wrong. To the degree that they do, watch out for the manipulation, because what we're discussing here is the negative impact of illegal immigration on the Black community, not the negative impact of immigration. And that's something that I've watched them do on MSNBC a couple years ago in the past, where they conflate the two. Or I shouldn't even say they conflate the two. They disregard illegal immigration and they measure up regular legal immigration, and they measure it up against whether or not it negatively impacts the Black community. And when you're talking about those coming in on H-1B visas, all type of work visas and school visas and study visas and stuff like that, legal immigration does not have a negative impact on the Black community currently today as we speak. On an individual level, it may have an impact on you if you're Black and working in tech or jobs like that, but collectively it does not. Don't fall into that. We're talking about illegal immigration, not legal. Illegal immigration is what we're talking about here. Don't let them pull the wool over your eyes with that. A 1998 study found that for each 1% increase in the immigrant portion of an occupation, the wages for Black Americans in that occupation were reduced by about half a percentage point. And I want to read the name of this 1998 study to you, right? Because the original, what we're going over here at first, because like I said, this article consists of two studies comprised into just one, like compressed into one article. We were going over here, the United States Commission on Civil Rights, right? That was a report that came out in 2008 by the United States government. What we're now going to get in here, remember that's 2008. Now we're coming back here referencing a 1998 study. Now here's what the 1998 study is titled. The 1998 study is titled, let me zoom in a little bit so you can see that with me. The Effects of Immigrants on African American Earnings, a job level analysis of the New York City labor market 1979 to 1989. My point for highlighting this is just to show you the fact that this has been known and understood since forever and a day. This 1998 study is analyzing job levels, right? The effect of immigrants on African American earnings, a jobs level analysis from the New York City labor market 1979 to 1989. This understanding of the negative impact of illegal immigration on the Black community, this understanding and knowledge is as old as dirt. This is not new information at all whatsoever. And I wanted to make sure to highlight that point. To put it bluntly, as illegal immigration increases, Black income and wealth decreases. And Black Americans aren't just paying with income. Diminished employment and income opportunities can also negatively correlate with the marriageability of Black males. So this affects you on all levels. You brothers can't even find wives because of illegal immigration. Now, I know I'm kind of saying that facetiously, but it's the truth according to the data. You can't even find wives because of this stuff, okay? So it's not just getting a job and having a little bit of money. You can't even get a woman. That's crazy work. Illegal immigration is diabolical to the Black community. A Pew Research Center study found that 71% of adults said it was very important for a man to be able to support a family financially, to be a good husband or partner. This means that young Black men who are unemployed and who are in lower income who are in the lower income bracket may have less opportunities to find a spouse, which is problematic since getting married before having children is one of the three things one should do to avoid poverty and join the middle class. And in closing, overall, the data shows that illegal immigration deprives low-skilled Black American workers of employment, which robs them of future earnings and savings potential, reduces access to entry-level jobs, limits opportunity for better paying jobs, and increases one's chances of remaining in generational cycles of poverty, and increases one's chances of remaining in generational cycles of poverty. These are the devastating effects of illegal immigration on the Black community. But if you let Al Sharpton tell it, Simone Sanders tell it, Roland Martin tell it, Jim Clyburn tell it, if you let any Black Democrat politician or political pundit tell it, they will tell you that what Trump said was racist. What they won't do is tell you why it's racist, backed by facts, data, and statistics, because there are no facts, data, and statistics that back up that what he's saying is racist. But to the contrary, we just went through numerous facts, data, and statistics, research and studies that go back as far as, reaching into 1978, 1979, right? All that shows that what he was saying is true. But the thing is that people have been saying this since forever and a day. Dr. Claude Anderson, Ben told us this years ago, decades ago. None of this is new. None of this is new at all. Yet these folks are able to run around here and literally get on national television and lie as if this stuff isn't the truth. And with all that being said, that does it for today's stream. That does it for today's stream. I ain't got no more talking. I think that I've proved my point and I rest my case. If someone is running around here telling you that black jobs is racist, saying that is racist, and most importantly, if someone's trying to articulate to you that illegal immigration does not have a negative impact on the black community, that is a lie from the pit of the underworld, straight from the devil's mouth. That is a 100% whole lie. And with all that being said, thank you all for joining me today. Please hit the like button on your way out. Share this video out on your social media platforms if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. And also don't forget to follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group. The link to my Telegram will be in the description box below and will be pinned in the comment section as well. Thank you all for your time. Into the next video. Peace and have a great evening. Have a great night.